My name's Derek McManus. I'm the COO of Telefonica UK, which you'll probably know as O2. And in that role, I do most of the tech stuff, so network and IT, customer service. I'm also doing digital transformation, which a lot of businesses are doing, but it's a big opportunity for us to really step forward in an industry where everybody's getting excited by 5G. We had a program called Citadel, so as a mobile operator, we are one of the most spectrally, if not the most spectrally challenged operator in the world. That means we have the least amount of spectrum per customer. And that manifests itself in places like London, and London is where it was at its highest. So we engaged with Mentor to help us figure out what we had to do technically and from an execution point of view to bend the rules of what we could do to ensure we delivered a great experience for customers in the most difficult circumstances, probably in the industry. And then another example of some work that we did with Mentor was we have a network sharing arrangement with Vodafone, which is called Beacon. And after 4 years, we were renegotiating the contract. Kind of naturally, we'd started off in a direction, things hadn't worked. So we used that to just work out objectively what the key challenges were, and without trying to get personal between Vodafone ourselves and the JV that we created, Mentor were great at drawing out those issues and helping us work them through. When you hire Mentor, what you get is you get really good stakeholder engagement. So you get a degree of honesty at a senior level. So they don't try and over fluff things. They give it to you straight. So you know what you're dealing with. They'll push hard to bring the real challenges to the table. So they don't waste a lot of time and energy. They're not there kind of padding out the contract to get money. So you get straight talking, high degree of expertise, real commitment to what the answer needs to be, and strong execution so you get things done. They deal with the senior stakeholders first. So I'll have a truthful conversation with whatever member of the Mentor team we engage, and it's really setting out the framework under which the engagement's going to work. Be really clear on the key areas of focus and talk about what kind of outcomes we want. So right from the start, you have real clarity on what's involved, what the challenges are, and what the timeline is. So as a senior person, I don't get involved in all the day-to-day work, but at least I'm really comfortable that I can have an honest conversation. I know what to expect. I know what's expected of me, so often there's challenges back to me, and then they execute. Well, the fact that I've been using Mentor for the last 10 years is a real credit for their execution record. There are many people who could play in this field, but the fact that I regularly return to Mentor because of their approach and their execution means that certainly I judge them as a very safe pair of hands where you know what you're going to get and invariably you get what you've asked for, which is good for me. So program execution problems in TNT space are rife. We run hundreds of projects and programs a year, probably 10 big programs. And right from stakeholder engagement, you're invariably getting challenges. And I learned this early on from Mentor, that programs tend to fail because they start poorly. And that's why I like Mentor's approach, because they, right up front, they get that kind of thing straight, because they know, and I've experienced, that leads to better chance of success. So the TMT market is awash with lots and lots of initiatives, and not that many of the big ones execute properly, mostly because they don't start very well. We're in a world where the industry is exploding around 5G, around broadband, and I think Mentor's current focus on fibre and execution is right at the heart of the core capability that I think is going to underpin the success of all of the industry's expansion programmes. So I think they've hit a real sweet spot, they've hit a skill shortage area. So certainly the conversations I'm having around fibre with Mentor have been very, very useful because they bring a level of expertise that I find really helps my business think straight, act right, execute well. So I'd sum up Mentor as basically having two things. One is industry technical expertise that really understands the industry, and then this upfront method of executing programs that means as a senior stakeholder I'm really clear from the start what's going to happen, and I know that when they set out to do something they'll make sure it's done, and that includes making sure that I'm making the right decisions at the right time. So expertise, great methodology, ultimately reliable delivery. Well, I have done, and Mentor and I are talking about a project right now, so I have a long track record of working with Mentor when the need is right, and I've got no hesitation for the right project engaging with Mentor again.